Hi everyone. This is good evening and good night session from Ålesund. Here you see the sunset. I'm here with a friend of mine, Rehan, from Pakistan. And I'm gonna ask him a couple of questions. But before I do, here you see the view. So, Rehan,
Hi.
you're able to multitask.
Yeah.
So,
Ni hao.
why are you here, Rehan? Why are you in Ålesund? Why are you in this Scandinavia at the moment?
Hi, Andrea. Thank you for inviting me to Oslo. I came to see a fire which was lit up right there 2 days ago. And it was a very different weather the day before. And today there's sun. The day before there was no sun. And I came to Sweden less than 2 weeks ago to speak in a mind conference on how I have been using social media to allow people to grow themselves and develop their mind. Exactly.
Yeah. But before you say more about that, I want to know, who are you, Rehan?
My name is Rehan. I was born in a city called Karachi, a small town, 22 million people, in a country called Pakistan, 220 million people, mostly famous for Osama bin Laden and Malala Yousafzai. I grew up as an entrepreneur in an entrepreneurial family. And I think that's it. I'm just a normal human being.
And I learned that you were using some resources coming from Norway and the Nordics. You were making paper.
So my father was in paper business, and he was importing paper before China and Indonesia were the places for making paper, from Sweden, Norway and Finland. So all my life I have been seeing paper reels from Norway, Sweden and Finland. But my father has never been to Sweden. My brother has never been to Sweden. You know, we were probably one of the largest supplier of newspaper in Pakistan and one of the biggest customer from this part of the world in Pakistan. But they never came to see this beautiful country.
And yourself then, growing up in an entrepreneurial family and spirit, what did you do?
So I started selling Commodore 64 games when I was 13. And then I somehow had a large library of Commodore 64 games. Then I started creating devices for Commodore 64, a speech digitizer called Voice Master, speed increaser, fast load cartridges, Dolphin DOS. I don't know if you were playing with all those. But then I went into selling fax modem cards. Then I went into an ISP. Then I went into selling email to fax service, then internet telephony. And then I started my first company in the US in '99, selling boxes, which could allow you to make cheaper calls. Today WhatsApp does that for everyone in the phone. But back in the day we had to have a huge box in order to make a cheaper phone call. And then 5 years later I started DIDX, which is in 2000 I invented the process of having a phone number on a box or an IP signal with a friend of mine in Seattle. It took me 3 years to explain what I wanted to do. Nobody would understand what the hell was I trying to ask them to do. But eventually, just in a few hours, Ken was able to make it for me. And then I'm grateful to his company, Joe Lysenberg, who invented the 900 number service. Then I created a marketplace for phone numbers, which is called DIDX. And we sell phone numbers from around the globe to telephone companies around the globe. So if somebody has a Skype, they can buy a US phone number or whatever number. So I invented that technology, and then we sell it to companies like Skype to allow them to offer it to other phone companies. And for the last 10 years, I've been kind of retired and trying to teach people how to be an entrepreneur. And I failed miserably because I couldn't teach anyone. And I found that the problem was the mindset of people and how they think and how they trust people. And I've been a seeker since then, trying to understand how people work. I've become kind of a psychologist, sociologist on the way without ever going to school. And I play with Facebook to create circumstances, as you said, make odds happen so they are in our favor and other people's favor. And so now I have a large following, 1.5 million people on Facebook who I kind of throw stuff at. Most people don't understand what the hell am I doing, but some do. And I started a competition, experiment, where I wanted to see, there's an old saying that if your best 5 friends are millionaires, you'll be the 6th one. So I wanted to see if virtual friends can do the same, and I did an experiment where I asked people in Pakistan to make friends from all over the world and see what happens to their brain, or not to the brain, to the mind, and how they would look at the world differently, and it changed their minds totally. It make them look at things in a very, very different perspective without they even knowing that they're changing, without them actually feeling that something has changed. Most of them are very upset with me that why do I have to make 500 Facebook friends before I can talk to you? Why don't you just do this for me? But the unfortunate part is you can't just, it's like handing over a degree to someone without going to school. So that's what I've been doing, kind of, yeah.
And then you also engage them on, further, you help them with a PC and help them.
So the experiment was that I wanted to create a system where people would want to add Facebook friends, want to change themselves. Most of them did not want it to change. Like, we all don't want to change, so we incentivize it. Like, most of us don't want to go to work, but we go to work because we get a job with money, and that with money we can buy things which gives us pleasure. So I said to people that if you add 500 of my Facebook friends, I'll give you a free laptop. And so far I've given 400 laptops, and I have measured what happens to their mind, and they're incredible results.
And it's not only a random selection of your friends, they have to be from abroad.
They could be any of my Facebook friends now, because I wanted to scale the program. Initially I measured it with only foreigners, and most people are very hesitant to add foreigners because they don't know the language. They think they will bite them or something, or they are infidels, or they're not Muslims, so they would be not good to be friends with. So I just said change the plan and said, okay, just add any of my 500 Facebook friends, and then you have to interview them like you're doing, to 20 of them at least for half an hour.
Yeah.
And if you do that, I'll give you a free laptop. So I'm kept modifying the plan and change. We didn't have interview before, so some guy put a girl's photo and added 500 people, and we had to give him a laptop. So we had to change that. We will interview you, and then we measured what happens, and then we asked people to interview, and I found that the self-confidence was increasing very dramatically, very high, if they were to interview people.
And one thing is what you do at home then, and empower all these entrepreneurs and people who need help in a way, or guidance. But what do you do international when you travel like this? Who do you meet? What do you do?
So I've been living a very random life for the last couple of years. I don't plan much. I try not to plan a lot forward. It gives me tension to plan. So for example, if you said you have a flight 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, I'll probably not sleep tonight. So I would rather, I've been working for 15 years all night. I was putting in all-nighters because I was living in Pakistan while working in the US. So my work hours were 6 o'clock at night to 4 a.m. in the morning. So I was awake all night. So my body clock has changed. When I meet outside, I want to see the rest of the world. Pakistan is less than 3% of the planet in terms of population, and then that means 97% of the population is outside Pakistan. And I wanted to know, how do you think? What's your mind saying? How do you see the world? And I'm a very curious person when it comes to that. I have not lived in Europe for a long time, maybe 2 months, and I was very shy, so I couldn't make any new friends. I was just always sitting inside. I was in Moscow. I probably went out twice in 2 months, just sat online. It was a very early time of the internet, 94. So I had to work on myself and allowing myself to become friendly and not be scared of human beings. I have the confidence to talk. I'm still working on it.
And what you do for a living is also then connecting the dots. When you see people that should meet, you ask them to.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for a long time. I became very good on the internet. I met my friend Suzanne Bowen, used to be called Suzanne Slay, who I started my first company with in the US with her help. I met her online on Facebook, on an mailing list. There was no Facebook back then. And she helped me a lot. She gave me a lot of confidence to talk, to believe in myself, to not think of Pakistan as a bad place. I used to blame Pakistan for a lot of bad things. But then I realized it has nothing to do with the country. The whole world used to be like this. Norway was not rich. America was not rich. China was not rich. Everything changes. Somebody has to work hard for it. At least a few people have to work very, very hard for it. And it's not the politicians for sure who are going to work very hard for you. Because they're very, very busy, to be honest. Even if they are everybody's actually working very hard. But the expectations we have from politicians is incorrect. The world has changed and the politicians have not. The world has changed, the technology has changed, the people have not. So what I act as an evangelist for technology. And my goal earlier in Pakistan was to teach everybody entrepreneurship. But now I have modified it to make it that everybody should have a smartphone, internet access, and they should know that they can search on YouTube whatever they're looking for. So if people could just search on YouTube properly, they have all the solutions available right there. They don't need anyone to show them the world or anything, to be honest. They just have to study hard, focus, be disciplined to learn whatever they want to learn. And their world will change, and then they can change the rest of the world.
And you've been now in Ålesund for your first time. Here is the view right now. How do you like it here?
It's very peaceful, it's very nice, very quiet. It's in Europe, most of northern Europe, we have air conditioning without a bill everywhere. You have to pay a lot of money for that. You have to pay a lot of heating. You have to pay a lot of air conditioning. So it's really beautiful. The place is stunning. What's there to complain?
Yeah. What's there to complain? Yeah, correct.
Well, I'm sure there are. People who are living here have a lot of things to complain about. But as a tourist, as a person from outside, as a person who really doesn't want to live anywhere. I want to not live anywhere. I want to live as long as I can, maybe a month maximum in a place, and move on to the next place. Because when I travel, my day becomes very, very long. So I can live 1,000 years in the same lifetime just by traveling and seeing the world and learning new things, because it keeps you young. It keeps you. My day becomes longer. It just does. Even if I wake up at 11, like just we did today, and it feels like it was a year ago I was at your father's place, even though it was just today, because when you change the scenery, the mind doesn't understand and it feels that it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's why vacation of a week is very important for people, to just change the way you see things. So if people of Ellesund are not happy, they should go live in Pakistan for a month and then come back and appreciate this place more and fix it. Similarly, if people in Pakistan aren't happy, they should go and live for a month in Dubai and just condition their mind in a different way. And don't live with Pakistanis when you go to Dubai. You go and live with a different person from a different country. A lot of Pakistanis complain that I don't meet them when I travel. And the reason is that I have met enough Pakistanis in my life. I mean, and then people complain, why don't you eat Pakistani food when you travel? Because I've eaten most Pakistani food all my life. And there's so much to explore. So I would rather try something different.
Yeah. And you have been streaming quite a lot to the people at home too. What do you think a community, a city like Ålesund could benefit from anything in Pakistan and vice versa?
Well, that's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking. People of Ellesund, please listen to me. Please add 100 of my Pakistani Facebook friends. What would that do to you? It'll give you flavor in life. I can tell you that people in Europe, most of them don't even understand flavors because you don't have a lot of flavors. The food in this part of the world is very bland. And I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you that we don't know what we don't know. The first time I went to a Thai restaurant in my life, I didn't like the food. I left it. I just hated it. And now when I'm traveling, if I don't eat Thai food a week, it's very difficult for me because I'm like craving for it. It's amazing. So the flavors, the world has amazing flavors and you should try it. And unless you try something for 3 or 4 times, you wouldn't really understand it. So if you add people from other parts of the world, it will open up your minds in very, very, very different ways. Number one, that will improve you as a human being. You will become a better human being. Number one. Number two, you will have partnership opportunities from around the world. The knowledge which you have acquired here allows you to see the future. So you can invest in companies and people over the globe when you know that this is going to happen in your part of the world, because you have already seen that it happened over your own city in the last 30-40 years. So whatever development has happened in this part of the world will happen in other parts of the world also, and they will help you see in different ways. For example, when I went to Gävle and Östersund in Sweden, I saw there is no Uber. So I kept telling people, you should start a local Uber over here. It's stupid that you don't, and you will end up selling it to Uber. Uber is not coming, awesome, you start. But most of the people are scared, like everywhere, because it's hard to start something. So if you have people from around, if you have different people, a newer network, you will have a different perspective on life. Just like when I was in here, I couldn't imagine this place. Now I don't want to go back. It's just gorgeous. It's just amazingly beautiful. The place where your cabin is, it's just, I don't have words. So perspective will change slowly. Like your son I was talking to today, he said, oh, I hated spicy food when I came to China, and now I love it. I have to eat it. So it's the flavorness in your brain which is just sitting doing nothing. Wake it up.
Yeah.
So, and if you want a free laptop, you can add my 500 Facebook friends and interview 20 of them and get a free laptop.
Maybe that's what I should do then.
There you go. It's not a Mac though.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
And from here on then, what is your main goal? I know you are designing a smart city in Pakistan. How would you go ahead to make it happen?
I have no idea. I believe in destiny a lot now. I believe that whatever is supposed to happen is supposed to happen. We must enjoy every moment. The whole city came up to me as a gift. It just one thing happened after another thing happened after another thing happened. I guess I didn't tell you the story.
No.
I'll tell you another time if you want. But so when it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. We're trying hard for it. Not as hard as we should, but we're still trying hard for it. We have 2 people working on it full time.
哎，小玉那个挺好看的，是吧？
And
对吧？
I hope it happens. Its plan is for 500 acres of new city
对，
where the electricity would be free using solar.
你看那个也挺好看，
Where
那还有大人。
we won't have all the problems which we have in Pakistan right now. We have gigabit wireless
对，
everywhere,
那个是个大的那个。
gigabit fiber everywhere.
太阳还不冷
This idea.
嗯，那你站在那，我给
And
你
we'll
照一
take
张
a short Chinese break.
Yes.
Yeah.
你好。
We want to take a picture.
Please do.
We stand waiting long
Please do.
time.
Come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you should have asked, so we don't know.
Oh yeah,
Let me
I
take
don't
it
know
for you.
either. Okay, sorry.
take it for you?
Yeah, okay.
Do you want me to take
Yeah,
it?
we have 2.
Ah, you have a photographer.
Yeah.
And you have traveled very far to get this
Yes,
picture.
yeah. Yeah. So we want to take a picture for her.
You should have just said it.
Oh yeah. We said now. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go down
You
there.
can go down. The sunset is happening as you asked for it.
So, for your smart city project, then,
It's perfect for you.
and
You can put it down now.
and also the situation where Pakistan is at. How important do you think the sustainable development goals are in finding that everyone are in the same boat and rowing in the same direction?
I read a very beautiful quote this morning that in the age of artificial intelligence, tribalism is a very, very big mistake. I'm happy that the gentleman who wrote this article. People don't realize what artificial intelligence will do to them, and most people don't think about it or worry about it. Maybe they do, but they don't say anything about it. I'm kind of worried about it because it's going to kind of destroy us. And our petty issues which we fight for right now, I would not even want to, it would be just stupid, like children fighting over a small little candy. That's what we do right now. What's happening between Iran and the US and China and the US, and it's just stupid what's happening. Smart people should act smartly and surround themselves with smart people so they can take good decisions.
Yeah.
We live in a time where we literally can solve all the problems of the world, and we're not trying to do that. We're trying to do stupid things, and what is stupid is, what is stupid is that if you can have 10 apples in $1 without hurting anyone, it's like you still buy 1 apple for $1. And if you can reach a place in 1 minute, you're still trying to reach there in an hour. So with the technologies which we have, we can reach to our goals very rapidly. But we're not doing that. SDGs are great, a way to go forward. We just need to disrupt our minds. And the way that'll happen is I think, changing our surroundings, changing our friends, because we are human, we are social creatures, and we form our norms based on the friends we have. If you change that, everything will change. Everything will start changing. Just like your son changed his food when he traveled. It will not have changed if he was living here, no matter how hard you try. The moment you put a person in a different surrounding, the friends make the norms change. So I think we should all change our friends first step. Unfriend majority of your friends and add people from all around the globe to have a different global perspective, because we don't live in a country anymore. We live on planet Earth, and on planet Earth, there are different compartments, and we should know all the neighbors. We're not trying to know us, and be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, be it whoever, prophets in the past, they all told us to love your neighbor, love thy neighbor. And today, since the world is so small, It doesn't matter if you're living in Norway, Finland, Czechoslovakia, or ex-Czechoslovakia, wherever. India, Pakistan, Nigeria, wherever. You have the power of your Facebook. You have the power of the internet to connect with anyone. Just a click of a button and the world changes. To do that. And I think that'll help all the SDGs. Because what is SDG? SDG is giving you a guideline towards a better future. But until you change, Rumi said, first I was smart, I tried to change the world. First I was clever, I tried to change the world. Then I was a little wise and I tried to change myself. So when you change, everything starts to change. There are more Teslas here than in my country. In a 60,000 people city, right? We have maybe 4 Teslas in our country. There are more Porsches here than probably my city. So do the people have extra head or extra brain, extra hands, extra time? It's all the same now, equalizer. The internet is an extreme equalizer of humanity. We have the same YouTube, we have the same internet, we have actually got better internet than you guys and cheaper. We're just not using it in the right way. And if we start using it in the right way, we can empower our people. All the presidents, all the countries should focus on letting their people know to stop trying to make new universities and schools and fixing everything. That before they talk to anyone, before they try to understand anything, spend an hour on YouTube and learn about the subject. And then you will be having much smarter questions to ask. People just show up without knowing anyone. You just show up. I loved when I asked you to talk to someone, you said, let me Google them first. That should be something which should be taught. Just like we teach, the cigarette smoking is bad. We spend more money on non-cigarette smoking than teaching people the internet. Simple as that. If we were just to teach people how powerful the internet is and not thinking that it'll benefit Google or YouTube or Facebook or it's going to benefit to us also. So it's just, we need to just grow up in a different mindset, which we live in, but we don't believe it.
And of course, you relate very much of what you say and think about where you come from and how you can help and how you can help others help themselves and their community. What is your 2 cents about Ålesund and Norway? What should we do that we haven't thought of?
Change your friends.
Well, that's easy. We don't have any.
Change your friends. Get new friends.
Yeah.
And that will change everything. And Norway is of 500,000 people, or 5 million people. Norway has a lot of raw material, as you said. Norway should change its immigration policy. Norway has taken a lot of refugees. Thank you for that. But at the same time, you can open up a smart immigration like Canada did. And take smart people from around the globe to this country. And you have such a huge country which people don't know. Market yourself properly. Let the world know what Norway is. Open immigration policy. If you have this degree, come on over. If you want to invest in this, come on over. If you're a carpenter, come on over. There's so many people in the world who don't have enough. And you have more than enough to... Don't just give it away to refugees, grow your own people. And I think it'll help a lot. Why not? It's such a huge country. So much to offer, so much to make. And people are the most expensive. How much is a human body worth? Would you sell your eye for $10 million? Would you sell another eye for $10 million? Would you sell your fingers for $1 million each? If you calculate our body, how much are we worth? We're billionaires, each of us. We're stupid that we think that we're poor. Nobody wants to sell it. But look at, your country is only 5 million people. My city is 22 million people. And again, the governments are trying to in our part of the world, in Africa, they're trying to fight corruption.
Yeah.
What's the stupidest thing in the world to do? Corruption will never go away. What can happen is that we can empower our people to make more money, which means that if every citizen of Pakistan was paying $10 a day in taxes, that would make them what? $200 billion, $20 billion a day. And for the last 10 years, Pakistani television has been fighting for $20 billion. Who stole it? Or $2 billion. Just for an hour a day, teach them technology.
Yeah.
And they can pay you more taxes to pay all of the debts. 200 million people. Singapore is 5 million. You guys are 5 million. What did you do with 5 million? We have 200 million, and we're still considered poor. No, we're stupid.
Well, it's also about the raw materials that we talked about earlier. But
Singapore doesn't even have drinking water. It harvests the rainwater.
Yeah.
It imports water from Malaysia to take a shower. It has nothing. And yet it's one of the richest countries in the world.
Yeah.
What did it do? It empowered the people. It created universities at the time when universities were needed.
Yeah.
Today, if we invest a penny per citizen on Pakistan and spend $2 million on advertising, let's start using YouTube. This is how it will benefit. The whole country will change in 1 year. $2 million. That's my house worth my house. It's nothing. $2 million. What is, people think that easy solutions are really stupid. But it's so simple. It's nothing, no rocket science. Simple YouTube. Right? Everything is there. And 180 hours of content is uploaded on YouTube every single minute. We need a lifetime to watch 1 minute of content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're not taking advantage of it.
It's true. So,
I feel like I'm here to sell YouTube, but people think I work for Facebook. People think I work now. Probably they're going to think I work for YouTube because I promote it so much. But the point is, there was a talk today in Atlanta by the co-founder of YouTube, which my son attended, and it was like how YouTube changed the world. YouTube has changed the world. Internet has changed the world, but we are not changing. We're just not. We're not changing. I don't know why. One advice to your tourism department and your people is to have a website where you broadcast 24 hours a day, all your cities. Like this. They should broadcast 24/7. You should go in. I think I saw this service 15 years ago when people had amateur cameras.
yeah, webcams. And
Yeah, but now you should do it on Facebook and YouTube to just broadcast it. What does it cost? A phone? Internet is free.
Yeah.
Just broadcast this every single moment for the rest of the life of the city. What does it cost? Nothing. Put a 360 camera, people can just watch live 360 stream. And it'll bring you more tourism than anything. It costs nothing. Right? So just smart things like this. Why don't we use these things? I don't know.
So you, at least, you think good about the nature you've seen here, and you like it.
A few years ago, I've never been under a tree. Only a few years ago. And I had an assistant from Moldova. No, not Moldova. Skopje. Where is Skopje? Macedonia.
Yeah.
And she used to say, I go to nature to recharge myself. I said, what? What do you mean by go to nature to recharge yourself? She said, I go to nature. I just recharge myself. I said, what does that even mean? I couldn't relate to that small little statement. But when I came to Stockholm 10 days ago, the first thing I was doing was taking selfies with trees.
Yeah.
Because now I understand what it means. The mind is not calm. And if the mind is not calm, no matter how much you teach it, how much you educate it, it's not going to perform. It's like a server or a CPU which is burning hot. It's not going to work properly. It freezes everything. It gives you the blue screen on the computer, right? So we need nature to calm ourselves down. We don't do enough, especially in countries like ours where my city has no trees. It's sad that there are maybe 100 parks. Not a single park I have seen has a large tree which I can sit under. That's a sin to me, that we're taking away from our children, that they don't even understand what nature is, what it can do for them, how can it calm down, right? They don't even know. It's normal to honk. It's not. Where are the horns? Hello.
Yeah.
This was Karachi. We would right, and this is supposed to be norm.
Yeah.
We tell people about non-smoking, but we're not telling on television how a horn is a bad thing. It's like an insult. It's bad for your health. It's bad for everything, and you're taking away the calm. And people think that by working hard they will make more money. No, sorry, wrong answer. People are living in the 1970s and 60s still, not in 21st century.
And a couple of comments on how you have understood the project we're working on as Smart Nations.
From what I understand, can
Yes.
I be very honest? You want me to be live?
Of course.
Yo. Okay. I think Smart Nation software is beautiful, what you're doing. I think you should start by making more introduction videos about it, telling about it, talking about it. Just like, when you are in our country, when a child is born, they start thinking which school it will go to. So 5 years ahead, right? So similarly, start marketing your idea before it's even launched. And if somebody wants to steal it, go do it for them, but nobody can steal your ideas, for sure. It's like your friend just said, make a good story and tell that story. And people don't know, as you said, what smart city even is. They don't understand. Everybody has a different story about what smart city is. So you can create a drama around it. You can create a movie around it. What smart city looks like. You can take movie clips from movies and make it into Smart Nations and say, this is how we're going to make this city look like. And then everybody will just sign the check because they have seen it, they can understand it. You can just, take a futuristic movie and show, if we start this software today, this is how your city will look like in 5 years' time. This is how your city will look like in 10 years' time. Something they can see. Most people cannot imagine, especially if they've never seen anything. I read somewhere that when Columbus came to the US, it took 15 days, 2 weeks or something for the indigenous people to understand what a ship is, because they thought it's a mountain, because they've never seen a ship before, so they didn't understand what's happening. Could be fake story, but this is what a story I heard. People cannot imagine something they have never seen. So when I posted photos from your place yesterday, some people wrote Pakistan is more beautiful. Might be, but it's just different. It's not a competition. You are you, I am me. It's not a competition. We're not trying to win each other. We live in a collaboration world. We don't live in the 1960s where everybody has to be better than someone else. But still, unfortunately, our mindset are that we still live in the 1960s where somebody has to be better than the other guy. And we're still living in the competition world, not the co-opetition or a collaboration world.
Yeah.
So Smart Cities smartnations.com is a wonderful idea. Just let me know what I can do for you. I think you should build stories around it, cartoons around it, movies around it, have a media team around it, because it's more important to sell the story than the story itself. If you have an amazing product and you can't sell it, it's not an amazing product, right?
Yeah.
So many books have been written, nobody reads them. Most people don't even know what Republica is, in our country especially. So you have to make a story, you have to do great marketing. Have you read the book Sapiens?
No.
So it's one of the best read books of today's time. And the guy, Noah Harari, gives credit to his partner that because he was a marketing guru, the book became very good, but there are so many other books. But because the marketing was good enough, he was doing the right things, it became a super movie, a super book. So I think that marketing is extremely important in today's world. Do you think Coke is healthy?
Yeah.
You think Coke is healthy? I think Coke is very unhealthy, right? So, but we drink it every day.
Yeah,
Do you think bread is healthy? We
of
eat
course.
it every day.
Of course.
Do you think milk is healthy? We still drink it every day.
Yeah.
We eat shit every day because the marketing was good,
Yeah.
right? So, and you have a good product, so at least, have good marketing around a great product.
So let's end it at that, about a good product and about people suspecting you selling YouTube and Facebook.
I'll let them suspect. I don't live for them. They're not paying my bills.
Could I ask you for a favor?
Yeah. So am I doing to jump?
For the future, that people might suspect you are hired by the Tourist Association of Ålesund.
Send me the check.
Yeah, I hope you liked it here.
No, it's gorgeous. The fee is being paid by the view.
Yeah.
It's like, when I'm back, I would say I was sleeping. I was dreaming.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So safe travels tomorrow then, Rehan.
Thank you.
And hope you'll be back soon.
I hope not that soon, but you never know.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you everyone for watching. Do share the video so that others can take advantage of what we know. And please add Andre and people of Ålesund in Norway. I don't know how to say it in Norway. How do I say add my 100 friends on Facebook?
Legg til mine 100 venner.
Legg til mine 100 venner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good sunnmørsk. Yes.
And Facebook. Okay. Cool.
That's great. Thanks, Rehan.
Thank you, Andre.
Bye-bye.